Jack, we've been stood here many a times over the last season, disappointed, teams rolling us over, Fulham being one of them, but did you see something different on opening day there today? Did you see more of a team?
100%. You pressing, first of all, was much better. Shots conceded, much better. Actually, I don't know if I can say we kept better of the ball. In most places we did, but there were still some sloppy passes where we were hurt with Casemiro having to put in late challenges. How that man was on the pitch from that scissor tackle he did on whoever it was. We are very lucky.
Traore.
Yeah, I start getting flashbacks from Onana punching whoever it was on the first game of the season. Obviously not red challenge, but like being saved by a dodgy decision. But yes, I would say overall we were better all round.
Yeah, I mean, I thought defensively, Onana didn't have a lot to do. Like you just said then, in terms of shots conceded against City, we conceded, I think, 8.
Yeah.
It's got to be less there tonight. I remember anything significant from Fulham, although they caused us issues in transition and break. Yeah. We sort of last-ditch defended it well, didn't we? I mean, shout out to Maguire today. I thought he was decent as well.
I think Maguire's a really interesting one, right? Because this is a man that's played all of pre-season, didn't really step a foot wrong today. You've got lots and lots of people asking for De Ligt, who was for big money coming in. Obviously, you'd expect him to come in. But if you think about it, really, Maguire played the whole of pre-season, hasn't stepped a foot wrong today. Why should he lose his place? Do you know what I mean? This is, if I'm in Maguire's shoes, this is a man, De Ligt, that's come in the last 5 days, not had any pre-season with you, had 1 or 2 training sessions. If he's coming in over me and when I played really well against Fulham, I'm going to be absolutely raging. And I think it's really... I'll be really curious as to whether he actually replaces Maguire. I think we can see Maguire play against Brighton.
If that isn't a serious injury that he came off with, it looked precautionary. Yeah. Maybe that's an excuse for Ten Hag to rest Maguire. Yeah. Never know, rest and bring De Ligt in. But he has his favourites. You know what it's like, Jack. Like Rashford, I didn't think was great again today, but he's starting ahead of others. We've got plenty of forwards coming back. Obviously, Xerxes in the debut and half today, mate, as well. Mazraoui debuting half today. Is that more positive than anything? That you've got players that we've brought in a transfer window that looks like came from a structure and actually fitted in and helped us today, and you could visibly see the difference that them players were making to our team.
Yeah, well, it's exciting because although maybe today wasn't as good as people wanted it to be, I only think there's a few tweaks in there and you could get a full flowing football team. Obviously Ugarte is the big one. We really do miss him. Casemiro is really hot, hit and miss at the moment. Sometimes he'll pull out an amazing pass and the next he's doing stupid tackles. So I really think we would love Ugarte to be in that team. And another midfielder, maybe in the further areas, it's literally like 2 or 3 signings away from like being a pretty much top 4 certain team.
Yeah. No, I get that. I completely see where you're going with that there. Like that midfield cover. A master of a position because Casemiro doesn't play a 6. Mate, he had 5 shots in the first half. Like what? Yeah. I could not figure out where he was playing. There were times where Fulham sucked us in. Casemiro was exposed. Likewise with Mainu. Yeah. It seemed to be the ploy. Luckily, defensively, we were solid. Again, proving that they didn't really have any shots on Onana's goal. But something to work on, like you said. But Mazraoui on the right, I don't see anyone displacing him, mate, when he plays like that. No. You said it yourself. You play well. I can't see Dalot getting ahead of him when he plays like that.
No, I really did like Mazraoui today, but I would just be like, I wouldn't go overboard with him, right? He's putting a good performance. Let's see how he does against Brighton now. Let's see how he does against Liverpool.
They're 2 high-pressing teams. Now, Ten Hag said pressure, passing under pressure is a big thing, one of the big characteristics they're looking for in defenders in particular this season. Mm-hmm. Brighton do it, Liverpool do it, we know. Like you said, they're the big tests. Do you feel like that's why he might change Maguire? You said? Yeah,
well, first of all, you could say the thing about the precautionary injury. You want someone 100% for Brighton with their pressing. You definitely want Mazraoui for the pressing. Martinez, if he was injured, I think we'd really struggle with the replacement of Evans.
Yeah.
So...
I'm with you. It's like, happy that we didn't get any more injuries, like precautionary Maguire, but the players that we need for the next game, I think are all there. Barring a United Carrington voodoo disaster again and someone pulls up with an injury, we should be all right defensively. Yeah. can we get a midfielder in before we get to that Brighton game? That's the question. Agate being in and ready for that would make a big difference, would it not?
Well, it's 8 days' time. If he signs in the next 2 days, you could probably get 2-3 training sessions in him, and then probably won't start, but you could see him on the bench. I don't see him starting for next game, but maybe on the bench.
Is there a shout for Mount's energy in there then?
Yes, there's 100% a shout for Mount's energy. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I actually do not mind Mount in there. I think the pressing is much better when we have Mount, which is a huge bonus for us. And although it wasn't as exciting as it should have been, Bruno and Mount have only played once together this season. I genuinely wouldn't mind seeing how it plans out. If it doesn't play out well, cool, you know, you can scrap it. But I'd like to see a few more games so we can never have that, oh, imagine if it did work kind of thing. I just want to let Ten Hag do his thing because he seems to like it. If it doesn't work, cool, but if it does work, which it might do, I want to see it play out. I would like to see Mount play against Brighton.
So, I mean, in terms of today, Xerxes, great debut, got his goal. Is he starting against Brighton again? Are you changing it up front?
I don't think I could because I want Mount and Bruno to play. So no.
You want the energy, don't you?
Yeah,
Forget the goals. Bring him on off the bench and win it late.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it's done.
My issue is that Mount chance he had 20 minutes in or whatever.
Yeah.
If he scores that, which he should have, I think we have a whole different game to talk about. There's too many players in that team that go off momentum, right? It works both ways. When we're 1-0 up, we seem to go and get the second. We seem to be really good going forward. But the opposite of that is when we go 1-0 down, all their heads drop. I really think if Mount scored that chance today, we'd be talking about a whole different game. Because they would have built onto that. It would have been Fulham would have felt more like they have to attack now because they're a goal behind. We would have found more spaces, which Rashford and Ahmed would capitalise on, and Bruno especially. You know, the Bruno Mount thing could work. Like if he scores that chance, I think we could have won that like 3-0.
Yeah. No. All right, Jack. Pleasure talking to you again, mate. Cheers, mate.